Hello everybody and welcome back to Zero Escape Virtue / Reward, a walkthrough by GameCola.net. My name is Michael Gray and with me today are Nathaniel Hoover and Nikola Suprak.
Why?
Hello.
Yo! No, I'm sorry, I'm not both of us.
So do you remember where we are?
This is what I got.
We're locked in this big building from which there is zero escape.
We are on the Alice ending, which you get if you go through the cyan door, ally, then go through the blue door to the bee garden and betray.
That's cool. Nothing to worry about.
At the end of the previous video, we got to see...
Because I've only got one BP.
what happened? Alice came back to life and killed us all.
Are we convinced she came back to life? Was she actually dead to begin with?
She was hit with something to make her unconscious because she had contracted Radical 6 and she was recovering from it.
Yeah, but unconscious is different from dead. It's not like, well, I went to sleep last night and then I came back from the dead this morning.
Okay, good point.
If she does, then Miyoji will...
So this is the discussion everybody is having before they go into the AB rooms to vote.
So we're going to redo this and vote betray this time, right? So that we don't get the bad... Well, this is probably going to be another bad ending, I'm sure.
As do I.
Because there really aren't any good endings in this game.
No, there's one. It just takes like 40 hours to get there.
So this is a good setup in case you've forgotten the situation that everybody else is in.
I know. You would like us both to vote ally, yes? Yeah. I agree. If we were to both betray...
You know, I'm surprised they haven't put out campaign buttons and stickers and lawn signs that say, vote ally, vote betray.
Gain 2 points.
You know, like they do during election years.
Right.
All this voting stuff.
Good. You're really gonna do it, right? Yes. Promise?
Okay.
Promise.
I just finished playing the K ending, and he does this exact same spiel with Sigma at the final pathway of the K ending.
Shit, this is bad. We need to move now. Indeed. Shall we?
So I've got a question for you, Nathaniel.
Uh-oh.
Because you know about Star Trek, and
okay.
You mentioned this earlier on. Is this something that Mr. Q would do on Star Trek?
Well, first of all, he'd be just plain Q. I doubt we'd call him Mr. Q.
Mr. Q is his father.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There is something like this on Deep Space Nine at one point, but I don't think this would really be a Q kind of thing to do. He's more of a, I don't want to say benevolent necessarily, but just a prankster, a trickster. It's all in good fun, whereas this seems to be more sinister.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there would be so much gory death involved, but something like this, softer, probably wouldn't be beyond the realm of possibility.
Okay. I've never seen Star Trek, but
actually, it would probably be more like the fate of this planet hangs in the balance, and so whether you all get together as a group or betray yourselves instead, that might be more along the lines.
Mm-hmm. Well, I bring this up, and Nicola, you're gonna love this because this is going back to My Little Pony.
Oh God!
They got
okay,
the actor who plays Q to basically reprise his role on My Little Pony. They don't call the character Q, but it's basically the exact same character. He has magical powers, and he plays pranks, and he can do all sorts of ridiculous things. And I was just wondering, because everybody is in love with that character, and I don't see what the point is. I think it's that you have to have watched Star Trek to love the fact that he's reprising his character.
Video games.
Yeah, video games.
Yeah, I've never seen My Little Pony or Star Trek, so I am completely unqualified to talk about this.
Somebody wanted us to talk about My Little Pony. There's your pony talk for the video. Thank you very much.
That was Paul using a fake username. I know it.
Paul!
What about all those people who didn't want pony talk, who didn't say anything about it? You've ruined the video for all of them, Michael.
Well, I introduced it under the guise of Star Trek talk, so, you know,
What if
I
there were
was
people
sneaky.
who didn't want to talk about Star Trek either?
Oh, man. So Q is not, he's like in one of the
Michael!
more recent Star Treks, not like the classic Star Trek. Is that it?
He was not on the original Star Trek.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
There were other omnipotent characters like him on the original Star Trek.
Like Mr. Myrtleplick?
You're just making up names now.
That's a Superman villain. I'm being clever.
If you say so.
He was in an episode of the Batman animated series, which was a ridiculous episode.
Why?
Yeah, he I do know about. He was also a trickster, so I guess that it kind of ties in.
Someone who isn't voting. I thought.
Yeah, so Luna's upset that we betrayed somebody who wasn't voting.
Luna's upset we're talking about ponies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, because she's named after the best pony. Wait. Oh, no more ponies. But this is something which happens a couple of times in the game, where the game seems to lead you up towards one decision, and that ends up being the bad ending.
Uh-huh.
It's like, here, you know, they wanted to say, hey, you can't betray somebody who's not voting. And when you choose the ally, bam, instant death.
Really? We already know what
And
they
I
are.
like how
It's
the
just
description's like,
so
it was like some evil spirit was moving me to press the button. Had nothing to do with the fact that I remember her betraying us in another video.
Yeah. It also makes us sound like the evil spirit.
Yeah.
Some jerk isn't playing the game right.
So this is going to be an interesting round, and I'm going to correct myself. I think in the previous video, Nathaniel asked about the pictures which show up here. They actually do change in position and size.
Good. Is there
Depending
any
on how the
particular
vote
rhyme or
goes.
reason to why?
I don't know why. I'd have to, like, watch two of them side by side to figure it out, probably. I mean,
I don't know if this is the case, but it would be cool if it were linked to their BP. People with more BP have bigger pictures. BP meaning bigger picture.
yeah.
Well, so I know that like some are relatively bigger because there are some people who aren't here for this round, right? They're in the medical chamber, so
Yeah,
they don't
Ford
show their
isn't here.
picture.
And Alice
But I don't-
isn't.
Yeah.
But no, I just remember that Tenmyoji usually appears on the left, and I saw one time where he appeared on the right, I believe.
He missed his mark.
So that's the interesting round where everybody is a betrayer. Have we seen this before, Nikola?
I don't think so. I think this is the first time.
Don't you get like a bonus of 10 coins when that happens, or am I thinking of Mario Party?
Is there ally and betray in Mario Party? Because I need to play that game then. I don't remember that.
Well, it's sort of an unspoken ally and betray. I guess I'm thinking about the mushrooms that you use where you can roll 2 dice blocks, and then if you match the numbers, you get a bonus of 10 coins, and also condemn some people to take a hit to their BP.
Yeah, I don't remember the mini game where Yoshi gets poisoned.
Actually, there is a poison mushroom. Oh, I played this terrible Mario Party minigame. It's one of the ones in Mario Party 4 that's way hidden off in the back, like not in the real game as far as I know. And it's called Mushroom Medic. And you have a lineup of a couple different characters like Koopa Troopa, Goomba, Toad, those kinds of things. And they're all lining up in like a Mushroom Kingdom hospital. And they all eat mushrooms, and one of them's poisoned. So you need to move the cursor over top of every one of them to see their heartbeat, and whoever's heart is beating fastest is the one who ate the poison mushroom. And your controller vibrates to indicate how fast their heart is beating. So if you pick the right one, it's like, oh, here's your medicine, here's your pill. They eat it and they feel better, ding, and then they all run off, and the next round of people comes in. But if you give it to the wrong person, the guy eats the pill, and he's like, huh, I don't know, what was that all about? And then, like, Toad or whoever the other person is just goes, and collapses, and everybody, like, runs away. It's awful.
I definitely don't remember that one.
A result of my training.
Oh man, I've got to find this now. That's amazing.
They gave me way more than the standard dose of that gas when they kidnapped me.
That's the best
In any
Dr.
event,
Mario
2 minutes ago,
sequel
I woke up
ever.
in the infirmary.
Yeah.
Tenmyoji
Yeah,
explained
Dr.
what
Mario
was
is
going on,
dark.
and I got
I don't remember that. I mean, he was just randomly throwing pills in a bottle, right? So he can't be that good of a doctor anyway.
Well, I was going to mention Super Mario Brothers 2, the Japanese version, which has poison mushrooms. And that's like one of the two differences between that game and Super Mario Brothers 1.
The real Super Mario Brothers 2, not Doki Doki Panic that was turned into American Super Mario Brothers 2. Otherwise known as the Lost Levels.
Yeah, I wrote a walkthrough for it, which is available on GameFAQs.com.
I was not paying attention to any of the dialogue going on here. What?
Alice is saying that she's extremely resistant to drugs and things like that, which is how she was able to wake up extremely quickly.
I see the DARE program worked for her.
Yeah. And she's blaming Sigma for this because she knew that he was going to betray her anyway, so she had to pick betray.
Even though she was really close to murdering him.
Yeah, and I mean she did, just not in this pathway.
Don't be stupid. I knew you'd choose betray. That is the truth. Why am I the only one getting the 3rd degree here? Look at those results. 2 other people just tried to kill someone. Yes.
Well, Dio tried to kill someone. Come on, Dio likes killing people. That's...
Yeah. Dio's just a jerk.
And Fi knew she couldn't trust Dio, so she had to do the same thing.
I don't want to be rude, but it looks like Clover and Kay tried to trick one another. Not that it seems to have worked. If either one
Well, this is a fine pickle we've gotten ourselves into, because now we can never press ally again.
Yeah.
Well, if you're paired up with Luna, maybe.
Yeah, she always allies, so that's good.
Except for this time.
Well, Sigma
yeah,
pushed
true.
the button. If Luna's a solo, I mean, she will always ally. If she's in a pair, there's the possibility of betray because the other person presses betray. But this is the reason why I showed the stuff at the beginning of the people talking ahead of time. Just to give more context to this situation where Clover and Kay both tried to trick each other.
Oh, that's right. Did we ever figure out who planted the bombs? The bombs?
We are going to find out in this ending.
Because it's the Alice ending? Was it Alice?
No, but because it's the Alice ending, we find out who plants the bombs.
Yeah,
That doesn't follow logically.
it's probably it's somewhat reasonable that people might have already figured out who it was based on a previous ending.
It's because she's a secret agent who works for, destroying the Myrmidons and stuff. Did we learn that in the previous video?
You're making up names again, Michael.
If we didn't, we're gonna learn it now. I like how Sigma's saying, we need to be more trusting. I betrayed somebody who wasn't there.
But we knew she was going to betray us. That's not our fault. This was self-defense.
My apologies.
I think he tried to make that self-defense argument a couple moments ago.
I would appreciate being left alone.
Well, no one else believes that he can see into multiple futures. The jerks.
Things are getting a little
Yeah, you think Fi would believe him because she can do it, right?
Sorry.
The Dio ending proved that because she was talking about jumping through timelines.
Yeah, sorry.
Fi's like, yeah, sorry, whatever.
Actually, that's something I find interesting because I don't think Fi realizes that Sigma can also do the time jumping
I
thing.
would appreciate it if you could not treat me like I'm the only villain here.
I feel like she asked him in the Dio ending about it, though.
Hold on, I'm coming.
I was just laughing about Alice saying, don't treat me like I'm the only villain here. I mean, I admit I'm a villain, but I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
What about Dio? He's way more villainy.
I want to see what happens when Clover betrays Alice.
Oh, that's never gonna happen. They're best friends.
I don't care. Should totally happen in one of the endings.
I don't
I
think...
think you have to go to, like, fanfic territory for that one.
Everyone's gone.
I don't think they get paired against each other. They'd rather, when the group split up, Clover likes to take the option where she is with Alice.
I know. But
And in that ending, they both ally, I believe.
Must have just slipped or something, right?
I like how Luna's like making excuses.
I think, yeah. That's. I'm trying to remember all the endings to this game, and it is not working. When you go through the lounge, that's when Alice and Clover play against each other.
The Ambidex gates have closed. Round 3 of the Ambidex game will be.
Really, we still can't skip through this text.
Nope.
Star keys are
Oh, this is all new stuff right here.
the gates.
Yeah, I didn't know
They
that.
replaced, like, moon keys with star keys.
On usage.
And moon keys sounds like monkeys, and that's funny.
The Ambidex gates can be opened as many times as the player.
Well, this is important information in some of the endings, because we realize, hey, we can play the AB game over and over and over again after the third round of going through puzzle rooms.
That means we can keep playing the AB game over and over too.
Wow, okay, she's saying the exact same things I'm saying. Luna.
Could you show me your bracelet? Do you remember what Zero Jr. said?
She's obviously been watching our walkthrough.
Yeah.
I was hoping for a flashback where Luna's like, do you remember what Zero said? And then they flash back to a completely irrelevant part where the rabbit's just like laughing, you'll all die, and something like that. Comes back, like, yeah, wasn't that?
I was hoping they'd flash back to like a Mega Man game. It's a different Zero.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Yeah, we have a Zero and a Sigma in the same game. Why did this not register with me sooner? We're totally playing Mega Man.
We won't know until we have a look.
Yeah, we just need to beat Dio Man and Bomb Man. We need to stop Bomb Man, who's got his bombs everywhere.
And Old Man. Don't forget about Old Man.
Ooh, yeah.
Everyone
He's
else
feisty.
is off on their own.
No, we have someone who is feisty. I bet Fi has two older brothers named Fee and Fum, and a younger sister named Fo.
Yeah.
Maybe it would help if we all had a common goal. Something to unite our hearts and minds.
That was a clever joke.
I try sometimes.
I do like Jack and the Beanstalk. Although I have to say, I'm not a big fan of the way that Fairy Tale idolizes theft. Glorifies theft. I'll put it that way. I mean, just because the guy's a giant doesn't mean you should steal his singing harp.
Yes.
Wait, so it's not okay to steal from giants?
The person who
Uh-oh.
set the bombs, for instance.
Well, I think maybe because he's a sky giant, they say it's okay, but land giants tend to get really mad about it.
Wait, what might work? I need to keep reading text.
Well, basically what's going to happen here is Sigma is going to go to Alice, and they are going to have a nice, sweet little romantic moment together.
Is this going to work out as well as all the other sweet romantic moments we've seen?
Do you have any clues?
Yeah, Sigma gets cold feet whenever he has a sweet romantic moment.
I don't know if that's the right expression.
It's probably not.
What's this?
We can decide later on. Right now, we've got the memory card. Remember the memory card we found near the second bomb?
It looks like a very sophisticated and not entirely useful comb.
Really?
Oh yeah, this was presumably dropped by the person who set the bomb inside the laboratory. So this is going to have top secret information which will prove the identity of the bomber.
Yes, I remember.
Is it going to be the blue bomber?
I saw it when I was in the infirmary with
See, we should probably play this like it's Police Quest and read the backside of the flash drive there and find Sunny Bond's locker number written on it, and also the name of the person who planted the bomb. Like the puzzle solution's right there. This is who planted the bomb. We're just not flipping over the thing to look at it.
It's actually got someone's vacation photos on it.
And here's me in the bomb in Ohio.
Why did I take these?
Why did I go to Ohio? I'm kidding. I have
What are
nothing
you doing
against
here?
Ohio.
It's the only state that's, high in the middle and round on both ends. I thought I'd throw that joke out there. I threw it at Anna Bernarski, who is a staff member from Game Cola from Ohio, and she had no idea what that joke referred to. It's like, it's zero, not zero, the letter O, it's round, so the word Ohio is round on both ends.
And then she
I got
left
it.
the staff after that.
Okay. Then stick it in already.
Go ahead.
But instead of a memory card, we shoved in a sandwich.
Sandwich.
Within moments, the screen was filled with peanut butter.
And we all died. The end. This is a terrible ending.
6 rows, 22 letters.
This isn't much better.
Looks like the odd rows use one set of letters, and the even rows use another
I hope
set.
it's a word
Ooh,
search.
crossword
We get
puzzle.
to,
The first
Yeah.
yeah,
row is just
circle.
Word search is what I meant.
Yeah.
Crossword puzzle's the first thing that came to my mind, too. It has letters. What else could it be?
Yeah.
Random to me. Think there
I
might
see
be a pattern.
SOS.
I just don't know what it is.
Was there
I
anything
see
else on there?
puzzle,
You see puzzle?
yeah, there's the word puzzle, then there's Fluttershy and Rarity.
Oh, now, look, although if you notice, on the left column,
Does
the
any of
first
this look
one is
familiar to you,
CBCBC. It's all C's and B's, and the right one is all
Have you
P's
seen
and D's.
something like this
So
before?
I wonder if
Uh-huh.
that's a
Maybe
clue.
during your training.
I mean, they're all repeating, right? Because it's QYUOJO.
Yeah, it's the same two letters, same two lines
How about
repeating.
you share with the rest of the class?
I don't think we actually know this yet. If you remember the Dio ending, we have the thing which allows us to decode this message.
They call themselves the Myrmidons. What are the Myrmidons? Put simply, they're a bunch of thugs who are trying to destroy or dismantle most of human civilization.
So this thing we're looking at, you think it's theirs?
Well, they have a number of different codes.
Oh, you're right. It
but I
does
do
look
think
like
this is
they
one of them.
repeat.
Then the bomb? It was set by one of the
I see
Myrmidons,
one.
wasn't it? Yes.
MTE1 Brax DF.
Seems likely. I don't know. How am I supposed to decode it? I don't have the key. Without a key,
So there's
it would
honestly
take
nothing
literally
else on
hundreds of years to
the
decode.
what do you call
Well,
it?
that
Flash
was
drive,
Wilhelm.
memory
I
card.
sure don't.
See,
I guess not.
Genemtion. That's a Star Wars character, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, can't they at least, right-click on the flash drive and see what the name of the flash drive is, and maybe that
Yeah.
will tell you who has it? I mean, if
So it
it's,
wasn't filled with.
you go ahead, Nikola.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it wasn't filled with Grandpa video, so we can rule out T-Dog.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say if it's called Flash Drive 32, then it's like, well, that's not helpful. But if it's named Phi's Flash Drive, then that's
Quick, whose nickname is Flash Drive 32?
oh, that's Alice, right?
YouTube handle.
Sorry, but I can't. Because you might be one of them. You might be the person who set the bomb.
Oh, it's got to be Clover because she's a fast driver. I've got it.
Really? And where's your proof? For all
We
I
saw at
know,
the end
you're
of the
my
previous
enemy.
game, she's
I
a
can't
crazy
trust you
driver.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I was like, I don't remember that reference, but okay.
I'm not your enemy. I'm your ally. Never mind that I picked betray. I'm also your betrayer, but I'm your ally.
I'm your friend. That's how you make friends, right? You just yell that at someone, and they're like, oh, dang it. I'm friends with this guy.
Yeah, yeah. That was the shortest episode of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic ever. They just shouted, we're friends now, and then the rest was just the credits.
Whoever requested more My Little Pony, this is all your fault.
Yeah, well, that's how they defeated Q in Star Trek, right? They just said, we're friends now, you can't torture us. He's all, dang! Then he goes
I'm
home.
sorry.
Has
Yeah,
a root
I
beer
seem to
float.
recall that's not at all what happens.
He doesn't have a root beer float? Oh, that's a horrible ending. Oh well.
That's true. Any ending that doesn't end in a root beer float is a horrible ending, except the one with cork, because that wasn't so good either.
That disgusts root beer floats.
Yeah,
But see, it involved a root beer float.
that's true.
We aren't actually going to see the Quark ending. Technically, that was the Tenmyoji ending, Nathaniel, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, there was a root beer float somewhere, so I guess the game can't be all bad.
So the Quark ending is going to be video number 14.
How many videos do we have?
Why?
I've recorded all the way up to the K ending, which is going to be videos 17 through 19. So
Oh, man.
after
We are
video
never finishing this,
19,
are we?
after video 19, there are 2 more endings, Luna and Phi.
Oh, my gosh. Fives is like, that's a year, right? That's at least another 50 videos.
Yeah, and I'm gonna unlock the top secret ending too,
What are you talking
which
about?
is
Oh, man.
Which is all. That sounds so worth it to unlock.
Hopefully we have this all finished by the time the third game comes out. That's
Yeah.
our new goal.
well, no. The top secret ending is interesting. You know, they introduce.
Look, they introduced spoiler.
Nothing happens. Nothing happens.
Top secret.
Top
Yeah.
secret.
Yeah, they all share root beer float. It's very fascinating.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's a really big one.
And there's a long metaphor about motorcycles, I think.
And termites that drive them. It's weird.
No, it wasn't it people like going down on their motorcycles and they take a left rather than taking a right.
You don't hate me?
So this is the romantic scene between Sigma and
I
Alice.
tried to kill you. Yes. I was so scared. Who wouldn't be? Kidnapped and locked up, forced to play some sort of bizarre game. And then we found that bomb. I know I probably sounded calm, but as soon as we found that thing, all I wanted to do was run away from it as fast as I could.
You know,
Things
this
just
is
went
the
downhill
nicest
from
she's
there.
been in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
I remember hearing
All-
that
all
Clark
game,
collapsed
basically.
and running to the infirmary with everyone else. And I got
So
there.
that's why I call it
I realized I
romantic,
couldn't
because she's
understand
getting
what anyone
soft
was
and
saying.
actually allowing her
Everything
inner self
I'm,
to reveal
I'm
itself.
sorry, it sounds more like
It was
romantic
like
is
watching a
defined
video
by
in
not
fast
actively
forward,
trying
only
to
it
kill
was
you.
real. Then I started
Okay,
to feel
fine, we'll go with that.
It's hard to
For
explain.
Alice, that is actually
I
really
guess you could
romantic,
say
though.
I didn't feel like I was myself, and it only got
Well, this
worse.
is where I think she's actually going to start crying.
Yes, I think so. I don't remember much after that. But
So
when
do you
I
see
woke
the
up in
pool on the
infirmary,
left-hand side of the screen? I never
Suddenly, all that
examined it,
fear
but
was
there's a
back.
picture of a lion
So I-
eating the sun there.
All I could think about was getting out of
That's
this place as
that
fast as
sort
I
of pictures come up
could. It
several
never even
times
crossed
now,
my
actually.
mind
Oh,
that it
God.
would kill you.
Yeah,
God,
that's
even
her
if it
crying.
had, I don't think I would have cared.
Oh, I hate it. Go back to being
See?
mean.
I'm horrible. You hate me, don't you? Just do it.
But Sigma refuses
Kill
to
me.
hate her
Get it over with.
or kill her because he secretly loves her.
But that's another fan fiction, Michael. I think you're getting that confused.
You're lying.
Okay, it's not really much of a secret, you know, she's a woman, so...
Okay, that's true.
I'm sorry, I was actually reading the dialogue this time. What kind of misogyny's going on? Because I just heard she's a woman, and it didn't sound like, oh, well, it's a wonderful thing because blah, you know, what's going on, Michael?
We're saying she's a woman, therefore Sigma is attracted to her.
That's basically all it takes for Sigma to be in love with someone.
Yeah. Which could explain why he wanted Quark to dress up like a girl in that one ending.
Oh God, let's stop that line of reasoning right now.
Territory we do not need to go into.
It's okay, Quark really wanted to dress up like a girl anyway.
Oh man, just by saying that, there's going to be some awful fanfic somewhere now, thinking it has made it come alive. It's like Ghostbusters.
Oh man, don't think about it.
Will you promise not to tell Clover that I cried? If you keep
I
your
would
mouth
give this
shut,
game 5 points if the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man came crashing through the wall and they needed to fight him to get to the next round.
And about the Myrmidons.
Well, of course you betray that guy. He's a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
But he's got the cool little sailor's hat and everything.
Good. All right then.
I don't actually like marshmallows all that much, but now I want marshmallows.
Why isn't he looking Alice in the face? What is this?
Why don't I have marshmallows?
So many questions.
She's got marshmallows in her lap, and I don't know.
Yeah.
So now we're going to hear Alice's entire backstory. So
I'll go make the popcorn.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's sort of like the Quark ending. We've got 20 minutes of this.
Fewer root beer floats, though.
I actually wanted to get a root beer float. There's one place near my house which makes root beer floats, but it costs $6. I'm not paying $6 for a root beer float. All the other drinks cost $1.95.
But root beer floats are delicious. I mean, that's not just a drink, though. That's like a dessert plus drink.
But are they $6 of delicious?
I don't
That's a good
know.
question.
I just know I don't go to that place because they run the scam for the happy hour scam where you have to buy $2 worth of drinks in order to get happy hour prices. But like I said, every drink is worth $1.95, so you're gonna have to buy 2 different drinks in order to get happy hour prices.
Well, I wouldn't say that's a scam. That's just for people who are going to be there all night anyhow, buying a bunch of drinks.
Well, happy hour is only like 3 to 6.
You can drink plenty from 3 to 6.
But that's not all night.
That's all the night you're going to remember after that many drinks.
Okay, I suppose. No, it's just saying, they try to make it seem like you have to pay $2 to get happy hour prices when really you're going to be paying like $4 to get them.
In case you weren't reading, Alice's father was kidnapped by terrorists.
And her mother died.
Yeah. She's like a female Jack Bauer, I think.
Oh, Jack Bauer's parents were kidnapped by terror? Oh, I guess that's...
No, I have no idea.
Is that a spoiler at this point? Aren't they bringing that show back? I've never seen it, so...
So here's a question. I don't know if we've discussed this yet, so just call me out on it if we have.
We have
discussed
these.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Long games versus short games. Is there a particular length at which point you say, it doesn't matter how good this game is, we need to stop because like X amount of hours is way too long for a game? Or do you really not care if a game goes ridiculously long like this one is shaping up to be?
I think with this game, the idea is that it's about 3 to 4 times as long as the previous game, and I think they were building on that because the previous game was kind of long.
But that doesn't answer the question.
I don't know if that does not answer the question at all. I'm just saying, I think that was their excuse to make this game ridiculously long. It's because the previous game in the series was kind of long, so they said, you know what? People have proven that they can stick with the game, which is really long. Let's just go crazy.
That still doesn't answer the question, Michael. Nikola, what did you have?
Well, so to me, it's about, the quality of the content. So there's some games that you can tell they're just like padding it out now, right? Like you're trying to make it long at this point. But as long as they're putting forth like original, sort of like clever content, like this game's doing, I'm fine with however long it takes. It takes as long as it takes to tell the story, is my opinion.
Yeah, I'm sort of on the same boat. I generally prefer shorter games. I've been really adventure game kick recently because
Mhm.
I can usually knock those out in 1, 2, 3 evenings, depending on how complicated the puzzles are. If I cave and look at a walkthrough, which I'm trying to do less and less. But even the longest adventure games usually are a couple hours at most. So
Yeah.
I'm really getting into those now because it feels satisfying. It's not like, oh, I just sat down with this platformer that was really easy and I got done in an hour. But I'm okay with short games too. I love the Mega Man games, and most of those, at least the earlier titles, you can beat in 1 to 2 hours, maybe 3, until they're
Yeah.
like the later X series where there's all sorts of power ups to collect and things like that. But as long as there's new content, good content, it's not just a rehash, it's not intentionally padding the game, I'm fine with that. Although I just played, well, not just, it's been several months now, The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. And that's a huge game. I played 200 hours worth and got maybe half, if even, of what the game has to offer. But it was great because you could just plow through and go through the regular, main mission of the game, or you could really sit and go through all of the optional content if you really wanted to, that you had a certain degree of control over how long the game was going to take you.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
I like
no, I
those.
don't disagree with that. Yeah, I'm not saying that I prefer long or short games. Like, I just played DuckTales, the remastered version. That's also an excellent game, but it's only like 2 hours long at most. So a game takes as long as it takes, and as long as it's the quality's good, I'm not long or short, whatever. Although sometimes short games are nice because I can actually get through them relatively quickly. Now that I'm older and don't have as much free time to game as I used to.
I was going to mention the Professor Layton games, because what you said, Nathaniel, reminds me of that, where you can try to plow through the game and avoid the optional content, like the optional puzzles. And certain Professor Layton games, the whatever you call it, are better at this than others. But I mean, if you try to play the full game, which I'm doing with game number 5, it takes about 20 hours to complete. That's how long it took me. But if you avoid all the optional content, you can plow through it in like 2 hours. So this
So
is Alice meeting Clover, if anybody's paying attention.
yeah, I was going to ask about this. So I thought maybe I wasn't reading all of this correctly. I thought we established that she is not actually all ice Alice from the first game.
Yeah,
That is correct.
she is a secret agent, maybe not a secret agent, but she works for a secret government group, and she just happened to be in the area.
Yeah, so she was the hitchhiker, but she was not all ice. It was just a
Right.
coincidence that they had been talking about all ice, and they find an Egyptian woman named Alice.
Yeah,
Did
well,
we
she was
determine what happened to her clothes?
No, we did not.
Because if she were
Terrorists took
the
them.
hundreds of years old Egyptian mummy who just had a couple of rags that survived all of that time and wandered out, I could understand being dressed like that. But I'm stranded in the desert doesn't seem to excuse that kind of outfit.
Yeah, no. When terrorists kidnapped her father, they also kidnapped all of her wardrobe. It was tragic.
Yeah, the terrorists she was looking for were actually somewhat related to the people in the previous game. Wait, no, Nikola, didn't we discuss this at the end of the 999? We had the Q&A with the author, and the author's Q&A sort of went more into the backstory of how the villain was able to do the nonary game and build that gigantic facility and everything.
Yes, yeah, because we had the question like, what are their stockholders thinking that they're allowing this company to do these sort of experiments? But
And apparently he had huge funding from the Myrmidons group, so
Mhm.
Alice
It all
was
ties
on
together.
the trail of the Myrmidons. It all ties together, or he was just making it up as he went along.
That's more likely, but whatever.
But yeah, getting back to the previous discussion, I think I'll just agree with what you guys said, and if a game's interesting, I don't care if it's super long, but if they throw in a bunch of stuff which is just padding, that's gonna make it more likely that I'll just shut off the game and Stop playing Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. I use that as my go-to example of a game with unnecessary padding, even though there are like a gajillion RPGs I could point to.
I mean, there was a time when I loved that, right? When it was just when I first found RPGs and you could just grind for hours, but then eventually that sort of loses its appeal.
I mean, there is something to be said for having a reliable game where you know exactly what's going to come out of it. There's not going to be any crazy surprises halfway through where they change the gameplay style or take the plot in a wildly different direction. That it's just the original Dragon Warrior, for example. You know what you're in for. You just want to do some mindless grinding and sit down in front of something safe that you don't need to think about too hard, and that can be very relaxing. Usually I don't go for those kinds of things, or at least not as much, but it can be therapeutic from time to time. It's the big problem I have with longer games nowadays, aside from it just taking so long and me having so many other games in my backlog to get to, is I've played too many games that get me hooked and pull me in, and then I get 20, 30, 40 hours into it and say, I don't like where this is going anymore, and I have this awful decision to make between just sticking with it and riding this burning train into the station, to borrow an expression that Christian Porter, I think, used at some point, somewhere around there, or just abandoning and feeling like, well, that was sort of a waste of my last 20, 30, or 40 hours. Because at least with shorter games, you get an hour into it and you say, no, and then you shut it off and it's not so bad. And powering through it isn't so bad.
Yeah. I mean, so there's sort of a question as to worth too, right? So even if you really like a game, if someone's charging $20 for, an hour game, is it worth it at that point? Are you, even if you like it, is it that sort of experience okay? You're paying that much for that little content?
It's all about quality. I mean, you look at the old days of the NES and the Super Nintendo especially, and you're paying 40, 50, 60, 70 bucks for a game that is going to take you an hour and a half, 2 hours. But if the content is quality content, and especially if it's something that you're going to want to go back to in the future, if it's not just a one-off where you play it and say, well, that was interesting, like what Heavy Rain was supposed to be, of play it once and that's your story and then don't ever bother to come back to it, but if it's something like a Mega Man or a Mario where there's more things you can do on the second time around, then it's worth it, even if the game itself doesn't last that long.
I was going to say, as a walkthrough writer, I prefer a game that's relatively short. I think the average I have is, if the walkthrough is 5 to 10 pages, that's good. I can actually write the walkthrough. Wow, I'm dying here. I can write the walkthrough in a couple of nights, like 1 to 3 nights, like Nathaniel was saying. Anything significantly longer than that, and the walkthrough is just going to take forever and become a chore.
I have not done much walkthrough writing at all. It's something that I would love to do more of, but all of the games I'm most excited about writing walkthroughs for already have like 4 or 5 guides online. But I started one for the PC game Hamlet that we got a review copy for Game Cola back in 2009, I think it was, and I'm still on like the last chapter that I'm trying to write before I can finally release it. I have another one for the PC game Jetpack. Love that game, but there's 100 levels. And then there's also a Christmas Jetpack and a Jetpack Junior spinoff that I was considering writing guides for. And just between doing the ASCII maps and writing a strategy, the way I was doing the strategy from the beginning was every single step. It wasn't just, I gave a general strategy of, well, here's a general guide to getting through the stage, and then very specifically, fly up to block B12 and stand there for a couple moments as this thing passes you by, and it just gets really complicated. So I'm still technically working on that and hope to someday release a final version.
It reminds me of my walkthrough for Burger Time, where I did an ASCII map of every single level, and there were only like 6 levels in Burger Time. But I got to level 8 before realizing there were only 6 levels in the game. and levels just repeat themselves over and over again, that's how long it took me to realize, oh, wait a minute, I just described the same 2 levels twice.
Although now with the advances of technology, we've got people embedding images and videos in their walkthroughs, so it's almost like a thing of the past to try and do ASCII maps.
Mm-hmm.
So just a brief update on the story here.
Yeah, thank you. I was about to
Clover was kidnapped because...
She was. Yeah, go ahead.
Alice recruited Clover to be part of their top-secret government organization because Clover has psychic powers, as proven in 999. Her and her brother have psychic powers. They can only communicate with each other, but hey, that's still useful, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then she ended up getting caught during one of these things, and when Alice was rescuing her, she found the corpse of her father, who the Myrmidons had beaten to death. So this is another very dark ending.
Alice's father or Clover's father?
Alice's.
Right, okay. So this is where the terrorist plotline comes in. Gotcha.
Actually, I think in the Clover ending, we are going to get a little bit of an explanation for why Clover is not sending psychic messages to her brother right now. Because when she was kidnapped by the Myrmidons, she sent this psychic message to her brother, and that's how Alice was able to come in and rescue her. So there was a secret message carved into the skin of Alice's father. He carved them himself. This is getting gruesome.
It's just like Curse of Monkey Island with the one map that you need. That was carved into somebody, or tattooed or something on somebody's back.
Oh. I didn't get that far in Curse of Monkey Island. I got past the end of, like, Act 1 and then stopped there. No, there's a prologue for that game, right? I played the prologue and stopped.
Prologue kind of looks like the word morgue, so I guess we're having a related conversation now.
Yeah. So Alice's father loved her. So why doesn't Alice wear this outfit more often?
That is an excellent question. I don't know.
Well, because it's this is just for business casual day.
Oh.
She wears her other outfit the rest of the week.
I mean, I understand the idea that, you know, she's dressed the way she is because she's trying to throw people off scent so they would never suspect she's really a secret agent. But given the fact that they've proven the Myrmidons know who she is, it's like, I don't think her plan is working.
Yeah, a little pointless, right?
I mean, they specifically went after her father.
Also, how old did we say Clover was?
She
Was
is
at
21.
the time she was. Okay, I was going to say at the time she was recruited, was that actually appropriate to be recruiting someone so young for spy work?
She was 20, so yeah.
For whatever reason, I keep thinking she was like 15 in the first game.
Yeah, she kind of looks like it, right? But she's supposed to be older.
We pointed that out multiple times during our walkthrough that
Right,
she
right,
looks
right.
like she's 12.
Although I guess, you know, you can technically work some places at 15. Like, I think I started summer camp counseling at 15 or so. So
I mean, that's a little
like
different than being a spy for the FBI. But...
Well, the junior spy program, you know.
I know that, you know, I worked at the movies when I was 15 or so. I had to get special permission from
Well, there it is.
my
Everything that's
school,
happened
my
with
high
the
school,
Myrmidons
for
and me.
some
I left a
reason.
few of the details out, of course, but you get the idea.
I left a few of the details out, but not many.
Yeah, we've been sitting here for half an hour. Oh, now we've got a picture of the lion.
Yeah, but I mean, it hasn't been specifically mentioned that it's one of the lions eating the sun. And there are 9 lions eating the sun, because that's a secret message. If the 9th lion eats the sun. That's written on the wall of a Floor B warehouse. But Phi hasn't actually decoded that anagram yet, and she's the only person who knows how anagrams work, so... we don't know what the hidden message is.
Yes.
So here's a fun little fact. I actually went to the anagram decoder website to decode that one.
Oh, this ought to be good.
And the anagram website has a limit of, say, 64 characters, and that message is 65 characters long.
Take out one of the spaces.
Without that, it's
Yeah.
pointless.
No, the spaces didn't count.
A key is a key. It allows you to sort of...
So the anagram website does not tell you what that anagram is, because there's the extra letter of the E that they threw in there.
Well, take out whatever letter looks least important and see if you can come up with something close.
I don't know what letter that would be. The S? The E, maybe?
Yeah, maybe an S, because you can maybe assume they were through in a plural or something, even though they didn't.
One of the M's, maybe?
What the hell?
I'm sorry, I have this nervous tick when I'm around cute girls. I just spout random numbers.
Yeah.
So he's remembering the code from the Dio ending. Do you remember that, people?
I do.
Oh yeah, we committed this one to memory.
Wait, can you
Yeah.
say that again?
Sure.
I remember the entire code.
Yeah, remember that? I totally remember that entire sequence.
198,449,351
You don't?
to the third power.
And Alice has
Oh,
super
obviously.
math
That number you just
skills.
told me. Prime factor
Yeah.
decomposition on that number.
How does
gets
Alice know
you
that?
198,449,351 to the third power.
It's prime factorization. Don't you know that? Jeez.
Yeah.
That was one of the secret files in the previous video. Now it's finally
Well,
becoming important. Prime factorization.
Exactly. You probably learned that in junior high, right?
This is really the plot twist of the game, that all of the characters are math geniuses.
Which really could have come in handy in the previous game when you were trying to figure out how the bracelet combinations work.
Yes.
Alice is a computer.
That in my head. Simple mental arithmetic. I told you, I'm better at math than most people. Look at you.
I'm
just
glad
decided
Sigma's
to
at least
use
saying
certain
what's on my
numbers.
mind.
That seems pretty
Yeah.
astounding, too.
Although,
Yeah, better at math means like you
Where
can
did you find
figure
that
out the
number
tip in your head, right? Immediately. That's better at math than most people.
yeah. No, I'm just a little disappointed by Alice's response. It's like, well, you just, blurted out the 20-digit number out of nowhere.
Fine. I'm pretty sure that's the key to the code.
Yeah, that's true.
I know the Myrmidons use prime factors for their keys. And there aren't a lot of 25-digit numbers that turn
Oh,
out to be the
he's
third
better at
power
memory
of
than
the
most
prime
people.
What's a
There's
25-digit
a very
number?
good chance
Yeah.
that number you memorized was specifically created by someone.
So we put the number that Alice came up with.
And all of a sudden, all of the smart talk goes away.
198,449,351 to the third
Words
power.
hurt my brain.
I think that's our hint for cracking the code.
Speak to me in binary, I'll get it.
Try to remember the code we
You
saw
have to
in the
wonder if
infirmary.
one
Or
of the
did it say on the monitor?
playtesters specifically said, I don't understand this plot line, please explain it again.
On the second row.
It's just supercalifragilisticexpialidocious spelled backwards.
No, there's only one message, I think, in this game, which is spelled
Wow, you've got a
backwards.
pretty impressive memory. We could really use someone like you back at the...
It's the... I don't know which bomb number it is, but it's one of them.
You use 198,449,351 to point you to the right letters. Well, the first number is 1. So take the first letter. The next number is 9, so go 9 letters over from the first one.
Oh, I hate it when
Then
they
8
do
from
these
that
things
one.
in
Just keep
games.
going until you get something. Make sense?
What, explaining how to do the puzzle, or just completely making things up that we have no hope of solving to begin with and doing
No,
it
this
for?
particular kind of puzzle where you have to count letters. They have one in Nancy Drew, Legend of the Crystal Skull. And and the numbers are like 46. It's like, so I have to count 46 letters next in the sequence. And it's like, if you're just one off, you have to start over from the beginning again. And it's a pain.
Yeah. I thought you meant like make the solution to a puzzle so esoteric and impossible to guess that they basically have to explain it all to you.
Now that doesn't make any sense. Decode this puzzle, you have 6 chances, and if you mess up, the game is over.
Yeah, if you mess
Why?
up, Alice is going... So here's the problem. I don't think they actually show the number sequence at the same time as the letters. That's the problem with this particular puzzle. So you're just supposed to remember that it's 1, 9, 3, 2, whatever it is, to determine that the answer is completed.
So I want to see what happens if you don't get it.
It's boring. Sigma just says, I have no idea what it is, and Alice says, oh, okay, well, that's that. I guess we'll never know what the message is. And then it goes game over.
And you couldn't give this to someone else who's more competent?
Yeah, yeah. Give it to Phi. Yeah, Sigma doesn't even know what an anagram is, so this why have him solve this?
Well, he's the one with the great memory.
Well,
Everybody else would have to, like, go back to the computer and see what the code is again.
All right then. I wonder what completed is supposed to mean, though. Huh? What are you talking about? What transmitter?
He's not going to explain, is he?
No, I don't think he's even going to talk to her anymore.
He's busy remembering the Dio ending, which is nice. It's nice. He's going to use that information. Was one of those flashes the back of Kay's head?
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was the little locked portion.
We haven't seen the Kay ending yet. I'm gonna have to check if that's a flashback to something we've actually seen or not. I can actually check here. Okay, I guess we saw it. We saw it in the as part of the Dio ending. The first part of the Dio ending, there's a conversation inside the infirmary where we see the back of Kay's head. Okay, so that is something we've seen. It's still a random thing to flashback to. Dio without his top hat.
No, the top hat turned into the space helmet.
Are you listening
Okay.
to me? Then
Yeah, if you
answer
turned
my
it inside
question.
out, that's what it looks
What
like.
the hell was that? What's this about a transmitter?
So Nathaniel, have we forced you to give your theory as to what's underneath the top hat?
I think we talked about this.
Okay, good.
It's like a Matryoshka doll, a series of smaller top hats.
Yeah, because I think it has to be the rule now that we ask everybody who they think Zero is and why, and what's underneath the top hat.
Don't tell me you're one of the Myrmidons.
Has anyone answered Dio's head yet? Because that just seems like the obvious answer.
No, actually, no, we haven't had that. We've had we've had Zero.
Zero the Third, the bunny, because he
a
looks
smaller
like a magician.
I've been looking all over for you.
No, I was
receding
referring
hairline.
to the question of who is Zero, Dio's head.
Well, all of us but Luna.
Oh.
Why?
No, again, no, we haven't had that yet either.
Oh, okay.
I think Nikola and I haven't answered because we know who Zero is, and that would be spoilers, so...
Yeah, yeah, don't ask us.
Tenmyoji told us about them. He said he'd show us where they were, so we all followed him down to the Floor B warehouse.
Wait, what's Clover doing here?
I'm assuming you left Quark with Luna.
Something about the bomb...
When we showed up, Vi and Kate were already
She just ran
there.
in and she was like, something about the bomb.
All of a sudden,
Use
Vi
your
I want
words,
that to
Clover.
be my excuse. The next time I'm found someplace where I'm not supposed to be, they're like, what are you doing here? Something about the bomb.
Yeah, don't do that in an airport or something. We'll never see you again.
I'm sorry, sir. This is the airport staff bathroom. I'm afraid you'll need to... Something about the bomb! No, that's okay.
Oh no, there's a monster fight. That's what she's doing here. So for some reason she thinks that Alice and Sigma are necessary for stopping the fight between Phi and Dio.
Choice seems like a perfectly valid defensive move. Just come with me.
Well, if
Kay's
Phi
trying to
beats
calm them
Dio
down,
up,
but
that's
there's only
one less
of
person
them.
to pick Betray, right?
Yeah, yeah, don't end this fight. Let's let this go to its conclusion.
Yeah, I want to see if Phi is good at fighting. Because, you know, she's got the word Phi in her name, and fight, you'd think she would be great at it.
She's also got Mad Hops.
Yeah, you know what? I think Phi is a secret judo champion. That's probably something we haven't...
Spoilers.
So, question. If there's an A garden and a B garden, and there's a warehouse A and a warehouse B, why don't we call it Garden A and Garden B?
So actually, in the comments to our last video, someone pointed out that in one of the endings they explained the B is for botanical, as in botanical garden, not that it's on floor B.
Okay, so A garden is like a tanical?
There is no A garden.
There's no A garden. We made that up.
Oh. I feel
Sorry.
lied to.
Yeah, sorry.
When did... I don't remember ever saying there was an A garden, though, so...
I
was a
think it
joke
was
in
when
the
I
last
was...
video.
Yeah, I think when I was questioning the bee garden, like, is it full of bees? Is it full of bees?
It is not. That was a great episode of Sesame Street, though.
I don't remember that one.
The one where Bert and Ernie's apartment is full of bees.
Bert's like, I'm allergic, and then he dies. It was really
Bert's
sad.
like, I'm allergic, and Ernie's like, oh, gee, Bert, your name starts with the letter B. And Bert's like, I'm dying here, but Ernie didn't.
This isn't funny, Ernie.
With letters.
Hard to trust someone who tried to kill me.
Same to you. I told you letting Dio vote was a
So
stupid
this
idea.
fight isn't much of a
What did you think he
fight.
was gonna do?
I guess he
Might
just
as well
like
press the
resolved
button
it by the
yourself.
time we showed up.
I couldn't just leave Quark alone.
Yeah, why'd she have to get
That's
us?
no excuse.
Way to
And
build
where
us
do you
up
get
for
off
nothing.
telling me I shouldn't have picked Betray? Did you even think that through? What? I was supposed to pick Ally? If I'd done that, I'd be dead right now.
I could say the same thing to you. Damn good thing Dio didn't choose Ally. Please, that's enough from both of you. Sigma's right. This isn't the time to be bickering with each other. Oh, you don't get to talk. You tried to betray Clover.
Is there
and
ever a
escape on
time to
your
be
own.
bickering?
Perhaps. But I think that's better than merely killing
I mean, Kay
someone.
tells us this is not the time to be bickering, but
I only
when
did
would it
it
be
so that she
appropriate to
wouldn't
do
kill
so?
Tenmyoji.
When they've got plenty of free time, which is right now, so...
This is actually the best time to be bickering.
I guess it'd be a good time to be bickering if, you know, they're arguing over who gets the last root beer float or something like that. Yeah, it just depends on what you're bickering about. If it's super important, then that's not cool to bicker about. But if it's something stupid, then feel free to bicker away.
The views of Michael Gray do not necessarily reflect the views of the whole Game Cola staff.
I don't know. I just get the sense that the word bicker means that automatically you need to be arguing about something stupid and pointless.
Oh, fabulous. My video just froze on me and had all sorts of, like, weird symbols and stuff pop up over top of it. I was doing so well.
Well, spit
I
it
think
out
that means
then.
you lost the nonary game.
Please.
I guess so.
It's okay. Sigma's just explaining who planted the bombs, so, nothing important.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. I'm back.
What?
You guys, what's your timestamp so I can catch up with you?
105:40.
I'm not too far behind.
Bum 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 bum.
What are you on? You think I set those bombs? Hey, if you're gonna accuse me, you better have some pretty damn good evidence, pal. Oh yeah? Where the hell'd you get that fact?
Yeah, no, here's a dictionary definition of bicker. A petty quarrel, a squabble. So it has to be petty by definition. So Nathaniel, are you with us? Are you surprised at all by who the bomber is, or
What's that?
not?
Some kind of hippie shoe
Is it
company?
Dio's hat? Is that what we determined?
It's actually
Not
his
just the hat.
vest. It's a plot twist.
Okay.
Yeah, his entire wardrobe is evil.
It's funny because he apparently has like 6 pockets to hide various things inside of. Because he's
So
got 4 bombs he's hiding. He's got the bomb input device. He's got another pocket for the Excelavir in that one ending, and another pocket for the injection gun in a different ending. So this guy's got like 20 pockets.
Venture game hat.
Yeah. Yeah, they're in his inventory, so it's legit.
Okay, that explains it then.
See, as I was saying before, I don't remember exactly when I figured this out, but I definitely knew by the time Dio's ending came around that he was the bomber, since he has one of the bomb passcodes.
Wait, Dio's the bomber? When did we learn this? Spoiler.
Like several minutes ago. Are you with us?
I'm here. I'm at glorious 107:51.
Gotta love how Sigma is once again passing off information he learned from other people like it's stuff that should be obvious.
I think what happened is that when I was skimming around the video trying to catch up with you guys, I missed, like, the most important section of dialogue in this video.
Oh, yeah. Sigma already said that Dio was the bomber, and now Dio's defending himself against the accusations, but it's pretty obvious.
I won't believe it till I see it in writing.
Until he actually confesses.
No, you're
Actually,
lying.
wait, there's another thing inside his pockets that we're going to find.
Oh no.
Wow. Yeah, but
It's one of his clones.
There's one ending specifically where they search his pockets, and Clover searches his pockets, and she only finds one
You have
thing,
to be lying. Brother, trust
which
me.
confuses me.
That's why he chose me for this mission. Why would he make me the leader of the Myrmidons if he... I said...
I should probably say it. It's not as naughty as Michael just made it sound.
I didn't mean it that... What? No!
Wait. What the hell?
That's
You
the injection
fucking
gun.
kidding
That's
me?
in the Clover ending.
You're
it's-
not helping. You're not helping.
It's the K ending,
What the hell
and
was all that?
it's like, we need to search
all
everybody
those
to see who
things.
planted the bombs. And Clover unhelpfully only searches one of his pockets, as opposed to the
Give me that
pocket that
shit.
has all the bomb stuff in it.
What's going on?
What are these Myrmidons?
So if you weren't paying attention to the text there, the text basically skipped over like 10 minutes of dialogue about the Myrmidons. I don't know why I pointed that out, but it's something I pointed out. Oh, here again, we're skipping over stuff that is being explained, which is kind of nice.
So you mean to say someone from the Myrmidons planted the bombs?
And Dio pretty much just admitted to doing it? Bastards. I'll never forgive you.
Actually, I know why I'm pointing it out. In this ending, it takes them like 20 minutes to get Dio to confess that he's the bomber and he's a member of the Myrmidons. And in the next ending, the Sigma ending, it basically takes like a minute and a half.
Kill you!
So Sigma just gets really efficient in the next ending and gets a confession super easily. Oh, Dio's got, this is the other thing in his pocket,
there.
the bomb
I
detonator.
like my women a little feisty. But you're taking it a little too far, sweetheart. Tone it down.
What?
You see this? You know what it is, don't you?
Oh my god. Is that...
It's a garage door opener. He's just
Detonator?
pretending it's a detonator.
And I
It's
see
a
what
thermal
happens if I press
detonator.
this button.
Yes. I think I do. I'm guessing it'll set off both of the bombs.
Well, I wouldn't say both. You mean there's still a number one bomb we haven't found? Correct. And there's one more, too.
No.
That would mean there'd be
There
4
are more
bombs. I'm good at math like the rest of you.
I planted
This is the
4
worst
bombs.
episode of Sesame
They're the
Street
ones
ever.
numbered 1, 2, and 3. But there's also
One,
bomb
two,
number 6.
three.
Add all
Four
that up,
bombs.
and you're looking at about 4 tons of explosive power.
That's when the
Those
Count
go
loses
off,
his mind.
it's all over.
Tries to blow up
That's
Sesame
enough
Street.
oomph to turn this whole place into a smoking crater. Aren't you forgetting something?
That'd kill you too.
So, I'm ready for that. I've got spares. Spares? Is that what Sigma was talking about?
Yeah, he's got clones.
Yeah.
He's got a clone
Clones.
army.
Let's go, Clover. Show them all that training wasn't for nothing. Huh? Oh, yeah. Right.
I get the sense Clover isn't the best secret agent.
Well, she was sort of yanked into it by Alice. He's like, hey, you're psychic. Obviously, you're qualified to be a secret agent.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it's the psychic powers are the only thing that she has going for her. In a situation like this, where they need to disarm a hostile person, I don't think Clover helps too much.
Well, she's perpetually in disguise as a cavewoman, too. There's plenty of things you can do.
Alright, Clover got the detonator.
Clover, get him. Right. Sigma, catch.
No, you don't throw a detonator with a big button that says explode on the front of it. Like, how are you going to grab that without pressing the button?
I would just point out that has nothing to do with what Alice said. Alice said, get him, and she was all, okay, I'm gonna throw the detonator.
Stop! Let me go! Still let go of me, you asshole!
Like, no, you're supposed to fight Dio. Oh well.
Yay, they did something.
Well, Alice did something.
Yeah, true.
Oh, I hate that word. A hold. As far as I know, there's not a word that's actually a word called a hold. It's a hold. Space between ugh. And if it is actually a word, it should be banned.
Well,
Okay.
the thing that bugs me and Nathaniel is that they use dono instead of dunno. It's, ugh.
I mean, I can understand it because you don't frequently see people spelling out dunno, but and it still works well enough because it's just a made up word anyhow.
Serves you right.
I think he meant that it bothered him and me, Nikola, not Nathaniel.
Oh, it bothers me too.
Oh, it
but
bothers
not
you
as
too,
bad as
okay.
you
What are
guys.
you laughing at?
Well, Nathaniel is listed as one of the official editors of GameCola.net, so...
What?
I mean, on a
Why?
technical level, it looks fine because if
See
you were
that
to
detonator
abbreviate
you threw to
"don't
Sigma?
know" and
You
just
activated
slash out
it.
some letters
If
and
it
squeeze
gets
them
more than
together,
a meter away from me, it sets itself
it
off.
would be
We figured
"do
someone might try
no"
to take it away,
because you take
so
out
we
the
put in a little
"nt" and the
safeguard. Since you two were
Yes,
kind
but we
enough
have
to take
actual
However you
it away
voice
pronounce the letter
acting in
K.
this game, so we know how they pronounce the word "dunno."
Countdown timer. Go ahead
They
and
do
destroy
pronounce
the
it like
detonator
"dunno."
if you want. Won't
Yeah.
make any difference
I mean,
now.
I
I
don't
see
know
what you're
what
saying,
Bombs are gonna go off
but I've
no
never
matter
heard
what.
it like anyone pronounce it Dano.
That's
Well,
like the
it's more
nickname
of an
for a
"oh,
guy named
don't
Donnie,
know."
right?
Yeah.
30 minutes.
No.
Donnie don't
My
know.
condolences. Well, what can we do to stop
So, if the detonator gets more than
First, we need
5
a
meters
device
away
that
from his
allows us to
body,
input
it automatically
information.
sets.
Then we plug it into each
Hmm.
bomb and enter the codes.
Hey, Alice. Who the hell
Did
are
they
you?
say meters, or I don't know, I just made up the
None of your
distance.
damn business.
Just
Just tell
glue
me
it
where
to
the
the middle
input
of his
device
back. You know
is.
the part where you can't really ever
Well,
scratch
that's
on your
not
own
your
and you need somebody's
business.
help.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck! Stop! You're gonna break
Oh,
it!
Of course. That's
she just
the
break his
plan.
arm?
Please.
Yeah, she
stop.
wants to get
Tell me
the
what I want to
information from
know.
him.
Alice is hardcore.
Well, I'm told this is she takes lessons from Jack
Okay,
Bauer,
I'll tell
and
you.
you know
It's in my coat. In the right-hand
that's something
pocket.
apparently he does every single
Check it
season,
out.
where you know he has to beat up a terrorist in order to get the bomb information.
It's no use. There's nothing here.
Clover,
Did
seriously?
you lie to me?
No, I swear. Keep looking.
I told you, everything's in his hat.
There is something in here.
See, I don't remember from the first time I played this game, but I'm expecting there's like a keyboard which lets us insert the passwords to the bombs.
Hey, what is this?
Huh? I can't see it. Bring
So
it
this
over
is the
here.
final thing Dio is hiding in his pockets. He has a pill, which we are just going to hold up very close to his mouth, which obviously is not going to, you know, bite us in any way, shape, or form.
Clover, you are the worst agent. I feel like this should get her fired, right? Like, even in the middle of all this, like, this loses her job.
It loses her life too, but
Well, yeah. Before that, they're like, okay, you're fired.
I can understand accidentally bringing something too close to Dio, like if Clover was trying to bring it to Alice or something,
Poison, I
or
guess.
grab it away, and Dio was too fast for her. But
Damn.
why did she just do that? What kind of purpose was there? It's like, this pill. What is this pill that I'm waving in front of your face?
I don't know. Hold the pill closer. I wouldn't know about it. It's not like it
I
was
can't
found in my pocket.
Yeah. It turns out he just has allergies. That's all this is. But
So seriously, where is the input device? Apparently it's not in his pockets, although I wouldn't trust Clover because she's a bad secret agent.
yeah, it is right in his pocket.
Wait, you mean he's got a pocket on the left-hand side?
Fine.
What?
Don't tell us. How about you give us the deactivation codes instead?
Deactivation. You guys are persistent. Fine. Not gonna do you much good anyway.
Oh, the classic villain trope of, well, it's not going to do you any good, but I might as well tell you anyway.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't know they have time travel power, so...
Yeah. But even so, why tell him?
LHCNMR.
This is actually a super sneaky code right here.
Which one was that? Was that the one where you move every letter up one and it spells
Or-
something?
Yeah, down one and it spells Myrmidon.
Ah, yeah.
Right.
Whereas one of
But-
them I mentioned earlier on in this video, you read it backwards and it says, I love something.
Pineapples.
Pineapples are delicious.
They are.
World, may brother live.
They're too pokey.
Well, I only have them on pizza, so it's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't eat the outside of them.
Oh?
No, yeah. I know, I used to. I was doing it all wrong.
He only gave us the friends. This is
So
bad.
go back in time and do this ending again and tell him to give you the password for the other bomb.
Yeah,
How much
and
time
and don't
have
let
we got?
Clover do anything. Keep her away from all the
Are
important
you
stuff.
sure?
Yes. He told us the time. I checked my bracelet. It said exactly 30 minutes.
You know, if I had time travel powers, I wouldn't even travel back to being in the situation to begin with. I'd go back before getting captured.
The first point in time he can travel back to is when he wakes up in the elevator.
This isn't good. I
Yeah,
was
he's
hoping
got
that we
very
might be able to
plot-specific
escape through the
travel
right
powers.
doors, but it takes
Yeah.
5 minutes for the primary door to open and close. So, yes, I know. There's no
That's
way
kind of
we can get through
unfortunate. You have
before the
time travel
explosion
powers,
happens.
but you can only do it according to how the plot wants you to.
Yeah.
Well, there's no point just
I
standing
mean, they do
around.
try to give it an
We should start
explanation,
looking.
right? But
We need 3 things.
yeah, it's basically
Password
just
input device.
so he can't do what Nathaniel is talking about.
Right. We also need passwords for all the bombs other than number 3. Exactly.
Nope, obviously not. Clover so expertly searched his pockets and found nothing.
Yeah. Oh, he's got back pockets? This changes everything.
He's got a secret pocket in his hat. Yes.
Hat
It's
pockets.
clean.
Hat pocket.
Then we'll just have to hope we find it somewhere.
It's also filled with this
Tabiochi,
gross
can you go
cheese
tell Luna
pepperoni
what's
mixture.
Right. I'm on it.
Good. The rest of you, let's
Oh,
move
now
out.
I want a hot
We can
pocket
do
and a
this.
root beer
Let's
float.
go.
So I think this is one of 2 endings in a row where the bombs are going to automatically be triggered and our heroes have a half hour to search the facility, but they don't find all the bombs.
Oh, this is a sad ending then.
Yeah. It would be useful if he could remember where the bombs were.
Didn't we
from
already
the
determine that
previous
there's only
timeline.
one not entirely sad ending? By default, then, anyone that isn't the last ending that we're doing is going to be a sad ending.
And by huge coincidence, the white doors close at the same time the bombs go off.
Until chromatic doors close.
They just timed it super perfectly by complete
That is
accident.
nice.
I don't know why they did that, because it's weird. I guess maybe the idea is that they could get through the white doors and the white doors shut and then the bombs go off and they won't die because they're behind the doors, but that's not the case.
No, I'm pretty sure this huge explosion destroys everything.
Yeah. Still, just a huge coincidence, the white doors at the same time as the bombs. And that happens in both endings, by the way. In both endings where the bombs go off, they really just time it perfectly there. It's like Clover standing with a stopwatch. She's like, okay, I'll take the detonator away from him. 3, 2, go.
Oh, what a nice explosion.
So, Michael, now that we've all been blown up, who's replacing us for the next video?
Anna Bernarski, who I mentioned earlier on.
Who you said wasn't on staff anymore.
No,
Well, we
wait,
talked
no,
about
I
it.
said she didn't like my joke about Ohio.
Which caused her to leave, but we've since talked her back onto staff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just have to promise not to make any jokes about Ohio, and we'll be good.
No, hey,
I can't
maybe
make
you-
jokes about Kentucky or Indiana either, but Michigan is still fair game.
No Indiana? Oh, man. This is going to be rough for me.
It's like half your repertoire gone.
Yeah, I know. I've got so many Indiana jokes. I do like the end of, I guess, story here, music they play.
It's the same in every single credit scroll.
It is, yeah. It's like the credit music, I guess.
And I think they did a good job with the credits in that there are no spoilers in the credits. They don't give the names of the characters who are very important
Oh,
but
yeah.
other endings. like, for example, you know, the old woman who dies, we don't know her name at this point in the game, and the credits will say just old woman rather than spoiling it and saying what her real name is. Spoiler alert, her name is Anna Bernarski, and
Oh no, Anna.
so that's why she had to leave the staff. She was killed in one of the endings. But fortunately, we're bringing Anna on for one of the endings, the pathways where the old woman does not die. When you go through the crew quarters, the old woman's dead body is not found in the AB voting room.
Mm-hmm. Which was very confusing to me the first time I played this game. I thought they had just missed something.
So Nathaniel, any final words before you go away forever? Unless we decide to bring you back because we don't have anybody signed up for the K ending or Luna ending or the Phi ending.
Michael, was I supposed to have something philosophical prepared to leave you all thinking, oh wow, ooh, I'll think about that?
I don't know. I just got tripped up. It's like, well, we're never going to bring you back. Oh wait, there's an entire third of the game where we don't have anybody assigned.
Yeah. Do you have any opinions on the game thus far?
I'm liking this much better than 999.
Okay. I totally agree with
maybe, yeah. Blah, 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 blah. That's all I have to say. Very profound.
Those are your last words. I'm going to work that into the write-up post somehow, I promise you.
Oh, no. That's how I'm going to be remembered. The guy who went blah, 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 blah.
Let's see. Do we get a new face? We should.
Yeah, we do.
Yep.
We've got Alice's face.
There we go.
So that is the first third of Zero Escape, Virtue's Last Reward.